Welcome to Testing and Learning. This show is basically me talking about and highlighting things and processes that I'm learning right now. And on today's episode, I'm talking about the prop you see before you here I made for my friend Queen, which is a prop from the game Bioshock, the little sister's needle gun thingy. I haven't really played Bioshock. I've seen plenty of images of it, but I've never played it. But she was wanting this costume, and she was asking me one day how to make it, what I thought you should make, how to make it. So I decided, I was like, okay, I want to make it. I want to go out and do it. And she's like, oh, don't spend no more than 20 bucks on it. So I went out and bought few things at Lowe's, and then mainly used the stuff we had around. Foam. This has got foam on it. This has got PVC pipe on it. It's got a medicine bottle on the end of it, a lot of glue, and I think it turned out pretty good. One side, this side's a lot better than the other side, because the other side, when I was going to paint it, I got some good like subtle rust paint that paints rust really good. It was gonna be my first layer after the silver that I painted it to give it a brand new look first, and then do the other paint on it. But my can was screwed up and it wasn't getting any pressure, so it was it's hurting out ever so often, so some of it got too much and some of it didn't get enough. But for something I had a week to do, and I think I did alright. Like I liked the rust part in it. I did stuff I'd never done before, like not only rusting it and giving it a weathered look, I also did some highlights in gold and black to give it some shadows in there. So it was a really good learning experience. Like, you see these techniques and how to do them, but it's not necessary that you always learn how to do them really well. And like this bottle part at the back, I did like 5 different versions before we really just ended up saying we're just gonna put glow sticks in there, and when it's needed to use it. And here's the needle part of whatever the thing is. I want to give some liquid dripping down it to kind of look to it. I covered the whole thing in like tape, and then like went over the tape with the paint. So these photos are like my step-by-step. So first thing I did was I got a hose, like a garden hose, and I ripped the back off of it, and then just put the handle backwards. And then this first time I was doing this, I did the heating up the PVC pipe to bend it, because the thing's supposed to bend up in the photos. And then I also took PVC pipe and heated it up to make it wide enough for the end of the hose to go in it. And the so-called needle part is just hot glued in here, and then just a ton of hot glue in there to do it. So when I got the basic shape here and everything done, and on the very end of the handle, there's also like a garden hose like extender thing that I just threw on there. And this is where I got the needle part, just dripping some hot glue down it and stuff, and letting that dry to give it like a needle drip look. And here was the back part. Originally the trigger thing was attached to this, and I broke it off, and I was like, oh well, this is the best place for me to put the bottle. These two were hot glue modes from a Evil Ted mode that he had, and I seen where he said use hot glue, and it worked really good to get the shape really good. And here's me first attempting to do the LEDs for the bottle and stuff like that. And I tried a couple of different ways to do it, but it had to be where she could change out the LEDs, and I'm just not really that good at it yet. And this is like the first layer of silver, like I said, and then I did the the rust paint that I couldn't get to do on it really well, and then went over it with a light brown for weathering, and then a darker brown for weathering, and then a gold for highlights parts of it, and then a black for highlights part of it. And then I think I went back with a little bit more brown too. And there's the kind of lanky, like big trigger thing is felt too. So I wanted to get that look, even though it's like the trigger mechanism really doesn't work. And this is a night picture of it with the glow sticks in there, and it actually looks really good, I think, up close. And of course the day picture of it. So I mean, at the end, I really liked how it turned out.